Thank you for visiting the Coin Lady channel again. Mr. Huber's piece today has likely piqued more interest in XRP's potential for institutional payments than anything I've read before. You can't miss this one. Could you tell me what he posted? It was indeed a piece of evidence presented in the case of SEC v Ripple. Additionally, it specifies that market maker fees account for half of the ordeal cost. My best assumption is that the other half is due to market inefficiencies. For example, you might see somewhat different prices on Coinbase and Nance, or whichever exchanges they use, and the associated fees are substantial. Graham Financials is a publicly traded firm, and we know this because they were required to report it. On top of that, Liquidity was losing a whopping $8 to $12 million every quarter. Plus, that collaboration was a total bust. Those issues, nevertheless, persist, don't they, even though they supposedly shifted their focus to SMEs? The exchange rate between USD and XRP changes with each payment. You'll have to fork up some cash for that particular deal. After that, you'll need to convert XRP to pesos. Because of the wide variety of bids and prices offered by these marketplaces, you will incur additional costs for this second complete transaction. Not to mention it's very terrifying. Given the recent SEC moves requesting up-to-date financial statements that are not related to the litigation, this is an essential subject to discuss as well. Since Ripple had a major victory over the SEC, it's likely that they're attempting to pursue Ripple's on-demand liquidity payments. On the other hand, a judge made a terrible decision by classifying all of the institutional sales, including those audible payments, as securities violations. Now, in principle, these transactions should be okay if they occur outside of the country. However, the SEC will inevitably seek to bring those under U.S. jurisdiction in some way. It's not without its dangers. Additionally, we are interested in expanding our operations to the United States. We understand that you would like to expand your business worldwide, not just in the United States, India, and China. Give me the steps. So, these issues have been bouncing about in my mind. If you need to transfer a payment quickly and cheaply, XRP is a fantastic choice. But there is a lot of trading, fees, and market inefficiency in Ripple's method. What are the alternatives to this? At this very moment, what is Ripple actively advocating for? We have feature sets like clawbacks that enable the issuance of stable coins and assets like that on the ledger. AML apps are attempting to build up tremendous liquidity for on-chain transactions further. I think the immediate goal of Ripple is to move all of their transactions off of exchanges and onto the XRP ledger, which functions as a decentralized ledger. This eliminates the middlemen and their fees, making market maker transactions on the XRP ledger essentially free. With one global unchained price that everyone can see, market inefficiencies will vanish, and you'll know what to build deep when you use it. Again, liquid markets are a feature of decentralized marketplaces where rippling institutions, individual users, and everyone else may integrate their transactions into a massive global decentralized market. A judge in the case of Ripple v SEC also ruled that decentralized exchanges are superior for financial transactions. We are not dealing in security transactions here. Thus, you are eliminating a great deal of expense and risk. This is in stark contrast to our previous situation, when Ripple did not transfer any payments using XRP prior to the debut of XRapid. Yeah, they claimed they were planning to go there and utilize it for its unique attributes, but they never did. Additionally, there is on-demand liquidity, which accounts for the bulk of their revenue, but a significant portion of the money transfer still takes place on centralized exchanges, which are considered legacy systems. Finally, we're making the switch to a digital payment system that is decentralized, cheaper, and more efficient than the old one. That's a fascinating future, one that can hold its own against any system in the globe. When you consider the format of payments and that system, everything about Ripple's actions is now crystal clear. So, they're saving money by not having to pay users to access their system. Millions of dollars are not going down the drain. We finally have the future-proof technology that most of us have been hoping for, the ability to transmit XRP payments. Also, it's not out of the question. We haven't arrived yet, so keep that in mind. Once again, they need to construct it, create the liquid, and ensure its efficacy. We all assumed that on-demand liquidity would be a good strategy. I won't say it doesn't, but there are a lot of expenses and obstacles to overcome. Perhaps after a year we will realize that the challenges are too great. That doesn't mean it will happen without a doubt. However, a realistic and effective strategy for success appears to be emerging this year. I am thrilled about that. The fact that this sort of agreement would benefit more than just Ripple and their institutional contributions is the most intriguing part. However, stablecoins allow us to all transact with one another and buy and sell a variety of assets. Additionally, the crypto community would benefit greatly from this approach since it would help with real-world issues. Moreover, in a really brief period. In reality, XRP might be among the most popular blockchains. The numbers speak for themselves. Furthermore, his worth would be significantly altered by that. Just earlier this week, I wrote a news piece on how Ripple isn't planning to go public anytime soon, like, definitely not this year or even early next year. Some of their companies are undergoing a process of redesign and reimagination. The positive aspect, though, is that they are not avoiding blockchain altogether. They appear to be stepping up their efforts to become more decentralized, with more transactions taking place on the XRP ledger for payments and business. Things like that are what make XRP so intriguing. For Ripple, this is a huge deal. They would have a far better chance of succeeding with this configuration, in my opinion. The interview that Gary Gensler gave today on CNBC was absolutely strange. I've never seen anything like it. Yesterday, Bitcoin was effectively launched, with trade reaching over $4.5 billion. There is joy for all. After appearing on CNBC, Gary Gensler flooded the airwaves with statements such, "You know what? We only did it because the courts forced us to do it," implying that the event had no rationale. Nobody needs exchange-traded funds, ETFs, to purchase Bitcoin. In the past, people should have just done it. It's unnecessary to have that investment vehicle for individuals to readily invest in gold or all sorts of things, but just because you can buy gold direct doesn't mean it's not handy. ETFs are designed to do exactly that. You know, the ones that revolve around commodities, where investors are looking to purchase the underlying asset, but I just don't have the space in my house or garden to store blocks of gold or barrels of oil. That man has it all. In addition, a plethora of terrible businesses and financial products, such as mutual funds with exorbitant fees and worthless assets, are going public. Do you think he goes on there to tell people not to do these things? The S&P eats nearly all of them. And all they're doing is taking your money in the form of fees. At this point, he remained silent. Here we are at a watershed point in crypto history with the first exchange-traded fund, ETF, and he goes on TV to slam it. Essentially, we would have preferred not to do this and are simply blaming the courts for their admission that we were wrong. People compelled us to do it. It is now up to the courts. What he says about cryptocurrency must be completely negative, which only serves to demonstrate that he is completely beholden to Elizabeth Warren. If he didn't desire this, he would still claim credit for it. What does this mean? The markets have improved since we lost faith in them. But now that big names like BlackRock and Fidelity have shown themselves, we are thrilled. This was possible because of our infrastructure. Crypto trading is risky and unpredictable, in my opinion, but it was necessary for the market, and we executed it well. He seems to be the type to claim credit for this major triumph. But he can't do that because his role as a puppet requires him to perpetuate Elizabeth Warren's false claims that cryptocurrency is harmful. It could be harmful. Its sole purpose is to facilitate illegal actions. Despite his claims of impartiality and lawfulness, it is quite evident that he is everything but. He has been dispatched on a mission to fight crypto and thwart it at every opportunity. I mentioned it before, Grayscale has no right to sue the SEC, now all you have to do is wait for things to be resolved. I like to give the SEC a lot of credit. Thankfully, Grayscale spoke out and declared that this is ridiculous. Because what you're doing is against the law, we will be suing you. They performed a great service for this entire area, similar to Ripple. Thanks to individuals like Ripple and Grayscale, who are determined to see this folly through, we are able to keep moving forward into the future. That interview was a major embarrassment for Gary Gensler. He is not, however, our biological father. Last time I looked, he wasn't here to tell us what to invest in. If I wanted to put all of my money into gold, Bitcoin, or another terrible firm, that was his decision. If he wants to be my financial advisor, I'm not going to pay him. He is employed by the government to uphold the law, not to create new ones. In the comments, please share your thoughts. Please like and subscribe as usual. Coming up shortly, farewell.